Sometimes you gotta fight your friends, though, man.
I would not.
I know.
I would not.
Yeah.
I would not.
Not at 40.
Not me.
Not at 40.
Not at 40.
At 23, you fight your friends.
No, at 40, I'm not fighting.
Come on.
Who the f said we was friends?
The JBP boys are out of business. Yep, that's right. It looks like we have reached the end of the Joe Budden Podcast drama as Joe has officially fired Rory and Mal.
The Joe Budden Podcast, hosted by retired rapper Joe Budden and co-hosted by Rory and Mal, looks to be all done, and a lot of this drama and tension is a result of many accumulated incidents, so let's just break that down a bit.
So since 2015, the JBP has grown with increasing popularity and cultural relevance, from having public issues with Drake and high-profile interviews with artists like Pusha T and Nicki Minaj. This podcast was truly a staple in the world of hip-hop media.
Problems seem to be more noticeable when the JBP did business with Spotify by signing an exclusive deal.
The Spotify deal ended up being pretty messy, and the podcast moved forward not working with Spotify, claiming that the platform did not understand the JBP's worth.
And this is not the first time where a business endeavor of Joe Budden's has ended in a nasty public dispute, as you could say. It's been a theme during his career.
Joe's co-host Rory and Mal had a growing resentment regarding Joe's mishandling of the business, and what we are finding out now is a lack of insight regarding their own personal business details.
Meaning Rory and Mal knew very little about their own deal when it came to Spotify, making this little Yachty Joe clip just a little bit funnier.
You sound like you very aware with what's going on, and you one of the hottest on earth.
But what do you want me to say? You want me to say?
I want you to be aware of your business. I want you to know whether you're in a 360 or not. I want you to appreciate the culture that changed your life and took you from college dorm rooms eating oodles and noodles. I want you who's well-spoken and articulates himself well.
This brought us to about a month ago when tensions seemed to be at an all-time high on the podcast between Rory, Mal, and Joe, and it was pretty visible.
It was palpable, one would say. This resulted in Joe telling Rory not to come in for a few pods, which obviously Mal took issue with, which caused both hosts to take a hiatus from recording.
Joe, who has more of a show-must-go-on mentality, opted to replace Rory and Mal for the time being, and left fans wondering what the future of the pod would be.
About 3 weeks ago, much to fans' delight, the JBP boys appeared to have reunited and came back with a pod where the three discussed and hashed out their issues.
The conversations were intense, and once they were done, it did seem that there was clearly a little bit of tension and resentment still there that Rory and Mal had.
During Rory and Mal's absence, Joe brought in his longtime friends Ice and Ish to fill in, and the downloads and views on YouTube were actually unwavering. The pod was doing just as well without the two co-hosts, numbers-wise, and even the listeners were growing accustomed to the two new voices.
After the reunion pod, the three hosts took another break, stating that it was just a vacation and that things would be back to normal upon their return. Cue this morning's episode, no Mal, no Rory. Instead, we received a 2+ hour pod that broke down all the mix-up behind the scenes and the firing of both Mal and Rory.
The news came as a shock to some, but a long time coming for others. Joe hasn't expressed what his future plans with the pod are, but we can only assume that Ice and Ish will be replacing Mal and Rory again, at least for the time being. I know me and Clyde are huge fans of the pod, so
it's a sad day.
It's a sad day.
Yeah, it's awful.
But also one we definitely saw coming a mile away.
We saw it on the tea leaves.
Saw it on the tea leaves. He shook the tree, and we saw the leaves, and it told the story, man. It's unfortunate it's come to this, but you know,
ta-da! No more pod.
All things must come to an
end.
If
you watch the Joe Budden Podcast, you know it's
you know what the
ta-da
is. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment down below. What do you guys think? Are Rory and Mal in the right, or is Joe in the right?
Let us know.
Let us know in the comments down below, and we'll check you guys out next time.